Hi everyone, and welcome back with more interesting facts about our bacteria and a reminder of the direct connection between the four foundation stones for good health in all humans and the effect of that toxic stress that can exist in our life. Okay, and back to the story. Did you know the good bacteria are actually recognized as friendly by our own immune system, which exists on the other side of the wall of our intestines? And therefore, they are not attacked, but are left alone to thrive, because they are an important part of the team. And specialist good bacteria communicate with and actually regulate our immune system. That means they keep it under control. Now, they gather beside what is called immune system stations, and these are the gateways that allow nutrients to pass through to our blood system. Our brain, and consequently our immune system, is always in contact with these beneficial bacteria by small threads that go through the gut wall and into the nervous system, called the vagus nervous system, which we've talked about, which actually carries the messages and signals to and from our brain and gut. And as it turns out, it is those specialist bacteria which are the first to recognize an alien invasion coming down our gut. And it is they who trigger our ancient reptilian stress response, and then they instruct our immune system to ramp up into attack mode. Now, without them, our immune system misses the first warning of an invasion, and the invading pathogen or infection has a huge advantage in establishing itself. And that's a really good reason for all of us to promote a healthy gut bacteria colony, you would say. Now, after the immune system has done its job and killed the invaders, it is the specific gut bacteria, along with the reduction in cortisol levels from the stress response calming down, which instructs the immune system to actually calm down and even turn off. Now, without them sending this signal, our immune system can stay continually cranked up and heading us into autoimmune disease, which is an immune system running out of control. And that is why the science says if you have any autoimmune issues, then having a stool test done to confirm the state of the gut bacteria colony might be considered as a first step diagnosis. And not to forget a simple vitamin D3 test to be done as well. Vitamin D3 is also critical in regulating that immune system response. Now, a healthy gut wall lining is also crucial for our good health. Now, the gut lining is only 1 cell thick, and depending on where in the gut lining is a mere 0.02 to 1.2 millimeters thick. And you can see how thin a layer this is simply by observing the natural skin on a sausage, usually made from pork or mutton intestines. It is very thin. And that lining is made up of specialist cells called enterocytes, which separate everything we swallow into our gut from our blood system. Now, those enterocyte cells line up side by side like perfectly fitting, tight building blocks, which prevents anything from entering our blood system that's unwanted. And this is a big deal. If they are not in a healthy condition, they can't block effectively, like a leaky seal, and that allows infections, unwanted food particles, and even poisons to filter through into our blood system. Now, that triggers our stress response, and that automatically triggers our immune system and inflammation right throughout our body. And that can be the extremely common cause of any gut pain that we feel, and the cause of ongoing body inflammation, infections, poor health, and other autoimmune issues. That's the connection. Now, what keeps the gut lining clean, healthy, and in good repair? Well, a good healthy diet, 0 processed foods, 0 flour products, 0 alcohol, and 0 sugar of all kinds, and a lack of stress, and the presence of specialist gut bacteria. Yes, gut bacteria. Like bees in a hive protecting the queen, the whole gut lining is protected and nurtured by layers of these specialist bacteria, which also produce a special slime called mucosa, coating made out of glutamate, which comes from the plant fiber, fats, and even protein synthesis, which we eat and they consume. Now, that slime also carries a type of antiseptic that foreign bacteria and other unwanted intruders simply can't survive in. Interestingly, the slime also stores nutrients and enzymes, including the all-important vitamin B enzymes. The good bacteria even controls the numbers and activity of other bad bacteria, fungi, viruses, and protozoa, simply by being the dominating species. Now remember, we said earlier 80% are good, necessary bacteria, and the other 20% are others, good, bad, and otherwise. Now, just for interest, if you don't feed your bacteria colony correctly, in order to stay alive until the correct food and volume comes back online, they survive by digesting the mucosa, the slime, until it is all gone, and then they die off. And at that point, our gut issues, immune system, and inflammatory issues and general health becomes out of control. And it could conceivably be simply coming from a lack of special gut bacteria and feeding them well. Now, rectifying that issue is something we can all do for ourselves. Who would have known? Again, certainly not me. So just for the record, a healthy gut lining includes the mucus lining and the layers of healthy bacteria lining the gut walls, and not just these rows of single enterocyte cells. Now, as we mentioned, our gut and consequently the bacteria living in it is also impacted by the way we think and feel, because it is connected to our brain by that vagus nerve gut-brain connection. And that's why we can have a gut feeling about something. It turns out to be completely true. And if we are long-term feeling sad, stressed, anxious, and depressed, that will have a reverse negative impact on the health of our gut bacteria, which just compounds the issue. Okay, let's do a quick rundown and join some dots. A damaged gut lining is generally the result of what we are doing in our lifestyle, which is also harming our beneficial gut bacteria. This can create a poor nutrition uptake in us because there are less healthy gut bacteria available to break down the food particles into tiny molecule sizes that we can actually absorb. And a shortage of good bacteria means there is not enough specific nutrients being released from the food we eat. Remember, we can't release these, only the bacteria can, which would be absorbed through our gut lining into our blood system. This is a common reason for nutritional deficiencies in all humans. Yeah, which means our stress response is continually activated, creating an acid pH inside our body. And now our beneficial gut bacteria colony again is dying off because they can't live in this acid pH environment. Now, with no bacteria or an unhealthy colony struggling on, trying to do what they must do in order for us to function, so often it leads straight to bowel issues of all types, which just compounds the stress load and makes things worse. This leads to poor sleep, which adds to the stress levels, and poor choices of food, which creates more harm in the gut, which also adds to the stress levels. And now this decline in good bacteria numbers promotes the overpopulation of the bad bacteria, which also adds to the stress levels. And if nothing changes over time, we are heading into any of the autoimmune inflammatory diseases and mental and emotional imbalance. So you see, our gut bacteria are a big deal. Okay, let's finish there, and next time I'll tell you more fascinating things about how bacteria actually work for us and why we need to keep our own bacteria colony healthy. That's right. Okay, I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.